Tell me a little bit about the history of the hotel itself.
How long? This is the historic Menger Hotel. We are 151 years old. The property opened for business on February the 1st of 1859. The Menger is a very, very important part of San Antonio history. We have serviced no less than 13 U.S. presidents, either before, during, or after they were in office. Anybody in the early years that was anybody, religious leaders, lawyers, rather famous people, actors, writers, anybody of any stature always stayed in the Menger Hotel. We've enjoyed a very, very, very good history. We're a very definite part of San Antonio, we really are. And as a matter of fact, this lobby that we're in right now, this area right over here, was part of the battle for the Alamo in 1836. This hotel was built 23 years after the fall of the Alamo. We do have our, shall we say, our little friends that checked into the hotel at one point and never have left, and of course these are our ghosts. We're very well known for it all over. There are no less than 43 apparitions and things connected with it that hauntings or return to the hotel, shall we say. I myself had several experiences, one of which was with an older lady. I would guess this lady was in her 80s, a rather large lady. She was sitting in the original lobby knitting. I saw her from the third floor. I was most impressed by the way she was dressed. She had on a dress that was made out of a Levi material, stretched all the way down to her ankles. She wore steel rim glasses, white-haired lady, a large woman. Her shoes were absolutely the most unfeminine things that I've ever seen in all my life. I guess that they were what you might say were used by construction workers or people, these loggers, these fellows that do all this masculine type work.
What'd you do when you saw her?
I looked at her and I was intrigued by it, so I came down the steps as quietly as I could. My voice, fortunately, carries very well. I was about from here to that planter. And I said, "Good evening, I'm with the hotel." I said, "Are you comfortable or may I get you something?" The lady continued to knit for what seemed to be an eternity, which is probably no more than 4 to 5 seconds. She looked up at me. The only description that I can give of her eyes is they were just a complete blank look, just a complete blank look. Nothing registered, nothing, no pain, no emotion, nothing at all. I looked at her, she looked at me, and then she said in a very clear and concise voice, she said, "I am fine." But this was said in such an authoritative manner that I interpreted to be, "Leave me alone." So I walked away. I walked as far as the passageway, the little under area right over there, and then all of a sudden it hit me what I'd seen. I went back. The woman, of course, was not there. Now, from the area that I started to walk away to that area there, I probably did that in about 3 seconds. A person in their 80s cannot move that fast. I mean, it's just, the lady disappeared. Had she gotten in the elevator, I would have heard the little ding of the elevator. Had she gone out the door, I'd have probably heard the door squeak. Nothing, just.
So she appears as if she was in the flesh? Or?
Yes, just as I'm looking at you, solid. No, nothing filmy or anything such that, just completely solid. 2 days later, I was on the second floor. 3 days later, it was a good friend of mine who used to be very active in the psychic community. We're up on the second floor, and all of a sudden, he's normally a very quiet individual. I'm talking as usual, and I'm talking, and he interrupts, and he says, "She's right over there." I said, who are you talking about, Sam? Who's right over there? He went on to describe the same woman that I'd seen 3 days before, reading a newspaper, sitting on the sofa, lowered the newspaper, then raised it and disappeared like that. There was a tree that was about 3 feet from us, an artificial tree that we have on the second floor. At this point, the tree started, the leaves started to move in order as though something had brushed by it, and then the area around us got about 15 to 20 degrees colder.
Wow.
When you tell these people, or you address people, you tell them all these things, they don't believe you. We do not do this as a come on or anything like that. This actually happens. I like to clarify right at the start, I'm not talking about heads being chopped off and hatchets flying through the air and stuff. None of that, no evil stuff, nothing like that. No furniture being thrown around, no. These are just little odd things that happen. I had a couple of young girls staying here recently. One was in the original building over here. The other young lady was over here in the center section. The one in the original building woke up early in the morning, about 4 o'clock, because she felt something on the bed. Looking down, she saw this little boy sitting there, blonde hair, a very old-fashioned white shirt on with a very large collar. She looked at the kid looked at her, and the kid said, "Hello." The lady screamed and ran out of the room, all the way around the 3rd floor from the original building all the way to the center section, knocking on the door to a friend's room to spend the rest of the night with her. I talked to that lady, I guess, about a good hour and 45 minutes. That lady was traumatized to a degree. She really, really was. These things happen. People react different to it. Some think it's funny. Others think it's not so funny. Some are really nervous about it. It's nothing to be afraid of. We have never had anything happen like that. But it's just, I guess that these creatures, or I shouldn't call them creatures, I guess these entities were here at one time, and perhaps they made a promise and they can't quite cross over. They're just here in time, and they'll be here forever and ever. And possibly one of these days we may be able to understand it. Those who do not believe, I think they do not believe because they just don't understand how this could possibly happen.
Did you believe in ghosts before you saw them?
I have always had, ever since I was a little boy, things happen that things just don't happen to a lot of people, but they did to me. Different things such as this. I'm not claiming any special gift or anything such as that, no. But I think that I'm a good receiver, and this is how come I can see these things. Other incidents that happened since I was a little boy, as I said, and later on into adulthood. Sometimes you get scared when you think of these things, but I mean, it's just something that's there.
Yeah.
And it's very, very true.
What do you think is causing all this? Is it just the history of the building?
Well, the history of the building itself is so very, very old. It has seen so many things in the life of our great city. This has been a very, very active part of the city of San Antonio. And perhaps some of these people were in the hotel at one point, and as I said, they can't leave. This is where they'll spend the rest of eternity. It's just, I've been asked a lot of times, why are there so many hauntings at the Menger Hotel? And my stock answer is, if I really knew the truth of that, I'd be making millions of dollars elsewhere, I would. But they're here.